we're gonna look into that gas pump, and I'll break it into three parts. Mainly, the top is the lid. Then I'm gonna do the middle. I'm gonna start with the middle, and then I'm gonna do the other pieces. So I'm gonna start with a polygon cube and try to get the proportions right. So here I'm gonna go ahead and start with a polygon cube, and this is sort of square, maybe a little bit wider on the front here. So I can go and adjust these numbers, so maybe 4 and 4.5, something like that. The height is fine, and then I'm gonna select the vertices up here, which is these. So this is tapered, so I'm gonna move it, scale it on those two axes. It seems like it's a little bit thicker. The whole thing is not much tapered here. Okay, so then I can start with this box. First of all, I want to create that hole here. Let me show you some a way that I could do this. I could actually use the edge loop tool, but if I use the edge loop tool, because it's tapered, it's going to follow that direction. So it's following that direction. But I want to do some straight lines. I'm going to turn off the grid, and I'm going to use, and I'll explain as I go. I'm going to use that modeling toolkit here, and it has a bunch of tools that we're going to be using. One of them is the multi-cut tool, which is really great. If you click on the multi-cut tool, you can see that you have a bunch of options. You have snap step, so it has a snapping kind of a magnet, and then there's like a slicing tool that deletes or extracts faces. By default, those are not on. So then I can you have to grab the object first, then click on the multi-cut tool, and you can start. See, now it snaps everywhere, so you can actually draw stuff. You can actually draw edges randomly if you wanted to. So here's an edge, and that's an edge. Or if I want to do a straight slice cut, I can see when I'm touching an edge, it has like the knife is ready to add a point there. But if I'm not on an edge, it says you can use like a slicing tool. So I can go ahead and like hold on the shift key and create a slice here. Hold on the shift key and create a slice over here, and over here. So now that sliced the whole object all the way around. That's what we want. Now this is like more narrow, so I'm gonna go back to my right view and select these edges by double clicking on them and moving them closer together. Maybe deselect that one and then move this one so it's like sort of symmetrical. Now these guys can go down a bit, and these can come even closer together, something like that. So maybe I can make this. So this is the area that we need to extract. So that we don't need that. So I'm going to delete it. So that's one. Let's see where else. We have like a hole up here. That might be a little bit tricky, but we can do that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my right view. Anytime you want to open a shape on another shape, like punch a hole, you use a template. You use like a guide. The easiest thing to do and the smallest is to use like a cylindrical shape, but with a minimum amount of subdivisions that looks like a circle. So if I have this cylinder, I can go press Control A to go to the channel box and go to the inputs and make the 4 would be a square, so 6 would be a perfect circle. So then it would be like the cheapest circle we can get from a cylinder, the cheapest shape, so we don't waste a lot of energy, a lot of polys. So here's what I have. So I delete all the depth, I only need the shape, and then I'm going to center the pivot point. So modify center pivot. So this is going to be a guide. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the right view and get this up here. Now I need to see through, so I'm going to turn on the X-ray and I'm going to get this sort of in the middle here. So I'm going to do something like this. Okay, now I'm going to go to this view and bring this all the way out here. Now this, I'm going to snap it exactly on this area. So I'm going to click click this axis of movement, enable that, hold on the V key, hold down the middle mouse button, go to either of these points, or on the curve you can use the C, or so click on that and it will snap. So that's because it's on an angle, it's like inside. So I'm just gonna move it a little bit out. So it's on an angle, so we're not getting the perfect, So I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the right view. I just need like this this guide. So to open a hole here, we need a bunch of other faces. I could select this face and just extrude it so I can get closer to that. So I'll do some offsetting. So I'm gonna extrude that. Here's the extrude tool, and let's do an offset, something like that, and go to the front view, to the right view, and just move this somewhere over here, scale it. So that's kind of the area that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna select that and move it sort of in the center here. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 2 more points. It's better to add points on this direction than on that one, but I can do either. So I'm gonna this shows that we have 1 point here, 1 point there. So then we need these 2 points up here. So those are easy. I'm just gonna make them with the edge loop tool. Insert edge loop tool. So 1 over here. So that's my. So you can see here now that I have created that area. Now I don't really need this. I'm gonna hide it. Control H to hide. Actually, I need it. Sorry. I still need to like trace it. So I'm gonna go on the right view and select the vertices and press R and just kind of trace this approximately. We don't need to be. It doesn't need to be perfect. So now I'm going to select this and hide it. And of course, I'm going to select these faces and I'm going to extrude a little bit. So I'll tell you why. I'm going to extrude and give it a little bit of a offset, like a small offset, 0.02, something like that, and do another one, again 0.02. Why am I doing that? Because I want to create a sharpness there, because I'm going to press 3 later on. It's going to smooth the object. Then I don't want it to be I don't want it to be like very smooth at that area. So I'm going to delete the other parts. So I have 1 and 2. If I press 3 right now, this looks like a very smooth object. We don't want that. I should have done the same for here, but it's okay. I should have done the same thing for that hole here. So I can do it right now. I can select this edge and do an extrusion and do a little bit of an offset, 0.02, and do another one, 0.02. Okay, let's see how that works. So there's a little bit of a sharpness here. Now everything else is really low. There's another hole on the other side, so let's do that. I want to get this to the point that I have punched all the holes on the mesh, and then we're gonna start adding more detail. So on this other side, I need to go ahead and let's see. That's more of an elliptical one. That's gonna be a little bit. We need a different guide for that. So let's try to do this from the front view. I'm going to do sort of a cylinder. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to break it down to that might be too low, but that might work. And so I'm making a guide. Base, get rid of these. And I'm going to extract these mesh. Let me see where they have it. They used to have it here. Edit mesh. Extract face here. Extract. And I'm going to move it down. So what I'm trying to do is like an elliptical shape. So I'm going to select these now. They're two objects because I extracted them. I'm going to combine them now. Mesh, combine. I'm going to select these edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can use the bridge tool over here to bridge these edges. I don't want any divisions. Apply. So it makes us sort of a symmetrical elliptical object. So this is a nice guide. I'm going to modify center the pivot point. Bring it over here. Go to the front view. It's supposed to be on the other side, so this one here. So we're going to do that over here. The same, I'm going to start adding some points. So this is supposed to be over that, so it's going to be also a little bit smaller. So that's the base down here. And I'm going to insert an edge loop here. Now this is going to interfere with our circle. That's going to be a problem, so let's see how that works. If I go over here, it's going to interfere with our shape. So we don't want that to happen, because then it's going to start restricting our shape here. See how that is affecting it. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these 1, 2, 3. This is retopologizing, a retopologizing technique, which you guys will need to do for character modeling. So that's basically, you have to start thinking how you're gonna not destroy your shapes, and we'll see how we can connect these together. So there's a way to connect stuff together. We could go around like that. We can use the multicut tool. Here's the multicut tool. I can start from here, go there, 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 and I'm kind of bypassing that area. But then I have a triangle here, quad here, triangle there. Any ideas? How can we make this triangle a quad? So if I go in the middle here and click a point and click here and click one here and press enter, did I solve the problem? So if you see that, so now this is a quad, this is a quad, everything is now split and subdivided. So what I did is like I bypassed this area and actually I created like a safe area up here with quads. So I'm gonna go down to this. So I have 4 points and then I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need a couple of more points over here. So 2 points here. So insert edge loop tool. So this can go there. I can have one more over here and one more over there. And that stops again the here. So again, the same thing. Multi-cut tool. One. Two. So triangles here. And that's done. Does that make sense? So now we have we need I think we're good. So what we need to do is select these vertices. Something like that. Let's hide that and get this thing again. Extrude, offset, I think we use 0.01, another extrusion, 0.02 now, so just a little bit different, and then delete these faces. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop the video here.